Hi everyone, welcome back to GoLocal Live here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. We're here now with Andrew Mock. He's the CMO of Turo, a car sharing app. Earlier in the show we had a house swapping, and now we're talking about car sharing. So can you welcome Andrew, and can you tell us a little bit about the service?
Yeah, happy to, and thanks so much for having me on the show. So Churro is the world's first and the world's largest peer-to-peer car sharing platform. A lot of folks like to call us the Airbnb for cars. And basically the way it works is if you're a car owner and you have a car that's just sitting around idle costing you money, you can share it on Turo and earn extra cash to offset your car payments, your insurance costs, and all of the other very high expenses associated with car ownership. And if you're a traveler who is looking to book a car for your trip, you get access to great cars at great prices. We're on average about 35% more affordable than the traditional car rental alternatives.
And so where did this come from? How did you guys, when did you launch, and how did you come up with the idea?
Yeah, so the company was actually founded back in Boston in 2009, and as legend has it, as our company founder tells it, it was a dark and stormy night in Boston, and Shelby Clark, who is the name of our founder, was riding his bike, trudging through the snow to the nearest car rental location, and he kind of looked around at the street, and he was like, these cars are all just parked here, and they're packed tightly behind one another. Why can't I just borrow one of these? And so that's how the concept was born. And the mission for the company is to put the world's 1 billion cars to better use. It's actually remarkable if I share some of the numbers with you. In the United States alone, there are 270 million registered passenger vehicles, but there are only 210 million licensed drivers. So there's more cars out there than there are drivers. And the average car is just sitting idle there 23 hours out of 24 hours of the day. So it's a massive waste of valuable resources. And so by sharing it, just a few days a month on Turo, you can get better utilization out of it, and you can just totally change the economics of car ownership. So that was really the genesis of the concept of Turo.
So if I wanted to register my car with the app, how does it work? Can I limit when people come to use it, or how long? Do you get to set the limits yourself as the car owner?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can control however long you want it to be rented for. You can set the availability. And so some people will share it, only on the weekends when they're not using their car. On the weekdays, some people will share it every day of the month because it's just an extra car that's sitting there. Maybe it belonged to your child, and your child now went off to college, and so your car is available all the time. So it's really completely up to you. And you can set your own prices, and you can even customize the length of the bookings that you'll accept. So you can say, okay, well, the minimum that I'll accept is 3 days, or you could say the maximum I'll accept is 3 days. So you have all of the bells and whistles and all of the customizations that you would want to toggle with directly in the app or on our website.
And so as a car owner, I'm sure most people agree with this sentiment that, I love my car, I take good care of it, I don't want a bunch of people coming and trashing my car. How do you guys assure that your users treat the cars well, and what do you do if something does happen?
Yeah, totally. And it's sometimes I pinch myself because when I joined the company back in 2012, everybody thought it was crazy, right? Like, who would share their car with a stranger? They're just imagining all the bad things that would happen to their car. And if you look at where we are today in 2018, we're at over 280,000 listed cars. So it's pretty remarkable. It's something that a lot of folks are doing. But to answer your question about kind of the trust and safety and the insurance, what we really pride ourselves on is working with top tier insurance providers. So in the US, we work with Liberty Mutual, which I'm sure most of your viewers are familiar with, the top tier insurance provider. And we provide $1 million in liability coverage to all of our hosts. And so our insurance, we're really, really happy about the product that we came up with Liberty Mutual to protect our car owners on the platform.
And so as a car owner, my car insurance doesn't have to cover it then?
Yeah, so that's the idea. Is that the company, kind of the insurance that we offer through Liberty Mutual, the 1 million covers you during your Turo booking. And the other thing we do is, throughout the product, similar to other online marketplaces like Airbnb and Uber and Lyft, we have a two-way reputation system. So you rate the host if you're a guest, and the host rates the guest as well. And anytime somebody gets a bad review or there's an issue, we'll flag it. So we try to make sure that everybody in the community is a good citizen, and will treat their car, treat the car of the host like they'll treat their own car.
And so, as a rider, how do I go about finding a car to rent?
Yeah, so it's very, very simple. You can download the Turo app on the Apple Store or on the Google Play Store, or you can go to Turo.com, Turo.com, and then you immediately have access to browse the 280,000 cars on the platform. And it's actually pretty fun if you're into cars or you want to dream about the type of car you can drive. You can find everything from a classic Cadillac Eldorado to a vintage Corvette to even the latest and greatest Tesla Model 3. So it's really fun just to browse the cars and envision yourself in that car, and you can book the car right there on the app or the website. And then once you've booked the car, you go to either pick up the car at the location, or many of our hosts offer delivery. So you can have a Tesla Model 3 delivered to your doorstep. So it really is a seamless, very, very convenient customer experience.
Great. And so where currently is Churro available? Of course, it's available in Boston. It's home city, but where else have you expanded to?
So Churro has grown quite a bit since we launched in 2010. We're in 5,500 cities across the United States. We're in every state except the state of New York. So we're pretty much everywhere that you would travel to. We also have a presence in Canada. We have our peer-to-peer product there. And this year we launched in Germany as well. So Canada, Germany, and US are where we have our peer-to-peer marketplace. In addition to that, we have some commercial hosts that we work with, which you can kind of think about as independent mom and pop car rental agencies. And those folks are located all around the world. So if you are looking to book from one of our commercial hosts, we actually have a presence in over 56 countries. So really a pretty vast geographic coverage at this point. And if you're looking to book a car for your next trip, we probably have an option there for you.
And is the service available here in Providence as well?
Yes, it's in Providence as well. I would be curious to take a look and see what types of fun cars we have over there. I'm sure the folks there have some pretty interesting cars that they share.
Oh, I'm sure you always see some interesting old cars and fancy cars all over the place. So it's a great opportunity to try it out. Maybe get to drive something you wouldn't have the opportunity to otherwise.
Yeah, totally. And we have some really fun stuff. So I'm actually here in Los Angeles, and so we have a lot of folks who obviously are very inspired by the entertainment industry. And so, for example, we've got the David Hasselhoff car, the Kit car, the Knight Rider. We've got the Back to the Future DeLorean. We've actually got a few of them here. Actually, one of my favorite ones here wasn't based on a movie. It's a truck that runs on veggie oil.
Oh, wow.
The host modified it to run on veggie oil. Yeah, so you've got everything under the sun, and that's the beauty of the marketplace. Is people love cars, and they've got amazing stuff to share.
And so how far in advance can you book it? Let's say I have a trip coming up in a month. I want to get it all figured out. Can you book out in advance, or is it more of an immediate service?
Everything. So we have some folks who are the planners, and they'll book many months in advance, and that works out great for them. Sometimes they might get better deals. But we also have the last minute folks who can take advantage of one of our features, which is to book instantly, where you don't have to wait for a response from the host. The host has already committed to making the car available, so you just click the book instantly button, and you can book it in as short of a lead time as even an hour.
And so, especially when it comes to rides, today it seems like there's so many different options. For a while, they're off the streets now. We had bird scooters here in downtown Providence. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's seemingly hundreds of different ways to get from point A to point B. What makes Churro different?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the way I would think about the electric scooter companies and Uber and Lyft and the other rideshare providers is that they're great from getting from point A to point B. You don't really care about the car. All the scooters are kind of pretty similar. It's just kind of a commodity. You want to get from point A to point B, and you need to go run an errand. Turo is really more about travel. So if you're taking a weekend trip, you're not going to take Ubers to go 50 miles or 100 miles away. If you're taking a vacation, let's say to Hawaii or some other city, and you're planning to drive around quite a bit, it's just not affordable to take Ubers or even practical to take scooters everywhere. And so that's where you would use Turo. It's really for kind of those longer duration trips where you need a car for a further distance or for an extended period of time. And I would say the other thing I would mention is, most of the time when you're sitting in a rideshare car, it doesn't really matter to you what type of car you're in. You want it to be safe, obviously, but you're only going to be sitting in there for a few minutes. With Turo, a lot of times when you travel somewhere, you're spending as many waking hours in your car than you are in your hotel room. So you want something fun, right? You want something that can really add to your travel experience. And that's where Turo is really different than all of the options out there, because you can get these really great cars at great prices.
Fantastic. And so what's next for Turo? What are the big plans, say, 5 years from now? Where does Turo hope to be?
So I think we want to continue to make the customer experience even better, make ourselves even more affordable for folks, add even greater selection of cars, add more locations, make the app and the website more frictionless. But I think the next big step for us to realize our mission, which, as I said, is to put the world's 1 billion cars to better use, is to continue to expand into more countries. I think it's clear that the concept of Turo is really adding a lot of value to the world, as can be seen by car owners who are sharing their car in the States and in Canada and Germany, and travelers from around the world who are booking their cars. So we get emails and contacts from folks all around the world saying, hey, when's Turo coming to my country next? And that's really what we're focused on, is trying to bring it to as many people as we possibly can.
And so if you wanted to set up, say, a recurring rental, let's say I generally work here in downtown Providence and I can walk to work or I can take the bus to work, but once a month, once a week, I have to go to a satellite office somewhere else in the state. Could I set up let's say, a recurring rental with the same owner every few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, you could go in the app and basically just book, because you can book as far out as you want. You can just go in there and just kind of make the booking for the exact dates that you're looking for. So yeah, that would certainly be possible.
Great. And so last thing, what would you say to someone who is maybe on the fence about renting their car? What would you say to them to convince them that it's really a great thing as a car owner?
Yeah, so I think the core of it is your car can pay for itself. It's really as simple as that. For most folks, the car is the number one or number two most expensive asset that they own. And unlike real estate, unlike a home, it doesn't appreciate in value. It actually depreciates every single minute, every single second that you own it. And so with Turo, you can essentially turn those economics on their head. And instead of your car becoming a cost center, it can become an income generator. It can deliver extra cash for you. And just to lay it out more clearly in terms of some of the numbers, the average host on Turo earns about $625 a month.
Which more than covers the average car payment.
Exactly, and the average monthly loan payment for a 2017 model car is $504. And by the way, that $625 that the average Turo host earns is actually just from 9 days of sharing. So you still have the car to yourself for the majority of the month. And so just with a little bit of effort, just with a little bit of sharing and planning, you can offset your loan payment plus have a little bit of extra cash, which is really compelling. Nobody has thought about cars in this way, and so we're glad to be pioneering this new way of thinking about car ownership.
Fantastic. Well, Andrew Mock, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate it. If you're looking for a new way to get around, maybe you going away for a weekend using WeKey, you need somewhere to get around, now you can with Turo. So thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back here on GoLocal Live.